So if you've been watching the series thus far, you're probably looking at this going, what the heck is he doing? That's a recorder. But is it? There's no hole in the back. There's no seventh hole in the front. It's a 6-hole penny whistle. Technically. I mean, it's not a recorder, even though it's built like a recorder. In essence, it plays like a penny whistle. I would call this a Lung Xuan whistle because I got it from the same seller that I got the Lung Xuan colorful Sasato clones from. But it was listed as a 6-hole recorder. It's interesting because it has some of the qualities of a recorder and some of the qualities of the tin whistle, in the sense that generally the playing is the same as the tin whistle. But it is a little difficult, just like the Sasato clones, to jump into the second octave. Pretty specific air requirements for overblowing, and it's really an interesting novelty. This particular instrument, when it arrived, I checked the tuning and it was a very weird right between C and C sharp. So what I did was I actually took the head joint off, and as you can see, it's not the best saw job in the world, but I used a hacksaw and trimmed it until it plays in C sharp. So essentially what I have is a C sharp tin whistle recorder hybrid kind of thing. It has the usual recorder foot joint that comes off. It takes some getting used to, having the 6th hole be raised and a little different feeling from the other 5 holes. But essentially, with some practice, this guy functions like a C sharp penny whistle. I like the tone of it. I actually like the way it sounds. It sounds like a recorder. It sounds like a flute. It's very interesting, being that it's ABS and that it's virtually indestructible. You can take it apart to clean it. It only cost me $5 US, and with a little bit of sawing is a perfectly tuned C sharp instrument, which I don't have any other tin whistle in C sharp at this time. It makes it a lot of fun to play around with and to practice and try to get used to, and also to kind of serve as the bridge between my penny whistle playing and my recorder playing. So the pros of this instrument are that it was very cheap, $5, eBay from China. It is indestructible. It has a sort of a tone and a playability like no other penny whistle, while at the same time having the tuning and sort of a utility that no recorder has necessarily. As for cons, it is difficult to jump between low and high octaves without some shrieking. The highest of the second octave notes are difficult to hit. I think there might be some remedy for that if one were to kind of maybe do some partial holing, almost like you would with the thumb hole on the recorder, but I'm not sure. I haven't really gotten that in depth with it. Another major con that I have noticed with this instrument is that because the mouthpiece and the head are recorder shaped, I have some of the same issues with saliva clogging that I have with recorders that I don't always have with penny whistles. It does occur, but it's not as bad. Another interesting thing though is because it's a block flute, there's no cavity under the windway, so there's no hiss, there's no crazy stuff. I mean, the tone is pretty even. Is it a good beginner whistle? No, not by any means. It's jumpy. It requires certain conventions to be made with playing technique, and it's in C sharp, which is a key that you're probably only going to use if you're playing with a particular ensemble or if you're approaching certain jazz compositions or harmonies. It's fun though. It's kind of a head turner. Like, what's that? But no, it's not something I can recommend someone who is learning to play either recorder or penny whistle pick up and believe in it as a good beginner instrument. This is the Lung Xuan 6-hole C-sharp recorder penny whistle hybrid from China. It's a lot of fun, but join us next week when we play something completely different from this.